Hey there, Money Loop family. Don't forget to subscribe for smarter financial success. Let's dive into today's money strategy. I had a problem. A scrolling and tapping, package on the doorstep, where did my money go, kind of problem. My spending was on autopilot, and I was just along for the ride. It's funny how it happens, a slow, sneaky creep until one day you look around at a mountain of boxes you barely remember ordering in a bank account that's looking seriously empty. So, I did something a little wild. I decided to attempt a no-spend month. For 30 days, I locked away my credit cards in a desperate attempt to hit the financial reset button. And let me tell you, it was about way more than just saving money. What I discovered about my own habits and my bank account was, frankly, shocking. The final straw was a 3 a.m. purchase. I was a new mom, running on zero sleep, and of course, scrolling on my phone. An ad popped up for some fancy, self-rocking smart bassinet that cost a small fortune. In my sleep-deprived haze, I was convinced it was the magic bullet that would solve all my problems. So, I clicked buy. When it arrived, my baby hated it. Absolutely hated it. So it just sat in the corner, this ridiculously expensive monument to my impulsivity. That was my wake-up call. I looked around and realized my house was filled with things I'd bought to fix a problem, but the real problem was my spending. The constant deliveries, the creepily specific ads, that little dopamine rush from a new purchase, it was a bad cycle. I was suffering from a classic case of lifestyle creep. The more money I made, the more I found ways to spend it, and I never felt like I was actually getting ahead. A no-spend month wasn't just a cool idea anymore, it was a straight-up necessity. So, I sat down and made some rules. The whole point of a no-spend challenge is to slash all your non-essential spending. For me, that meant money was only allowed to go to 4 places: the mortgage, basic utilities, a very strict grocery budget, and gas for the car. Everything else? Off limits. No restaurants, no takeout, no morning coffees. No new clothes, no books, no gadgets. No pausing a subscription I could just cancel. No quick trips to Target that somehow cost $100. It was time to finally draw a line between my wants and my needs. My first move was to go on the defensive. I unsubscribed from dozens of marketing emails, deleted every shopping app from my phone, and physically took my credit cards out of my wallet. I zipped them into a little bag and hid them in a drawer. I needed to create as much friction as possible between me and my ability to spend. Okay, that first week was rough. I genuinely didn't realize how deep-seated my spending habits were. The muscle memory to just open a shopping app while watching TV is a real thing. The urge to grab a latte while running errands was a constant internal battle. It honestly felt like my brain was going through withdrawal. The hardest part? Social situations. A friend texted, "Dinner Friday?" and I had to send that awkward, "Hey, so I'm doing this spending freeze thing," text. I suggested a walk in the park instead. It felt a little weird, but it worked. You're forced to find new ways to connect with people that don't involve opening your wallet. But the temptation was everywhere. The ads felt more targeted than ever. A sweater I'd been wanting went on a flash sale, and it took every ounce of my willpower not to break. I used a little trick I'd read about. I added it to a wish list to look at after the month was over. By the second week, something started to change. The constant, nagging urge to spend began to fade, and it was replaced by a feeling of resourcefulness. Instead of caving and ordering takeout when I was tired, I challenged myself to get creative with what was already in my pantry. We actually ate really well, and it turned into a fun game. I started shopping my own house. I discovered books on my shelves I'd bought and never read. I found clothes in the back of my closet I'd completely forgotten about. I started using up the collection of half-empty shampoo and lotion bottles under the sink. It turns out, I already had everything I needed. This is one of the biggest eye-openers of a no-spend month. You are forced to appreciate and use what you already own. For fun, I rediscovered the library. I went on hikes. I looked up free events happening in my city. My weekends, which used to revolve around spending money, were suddenly filled with new, free adventures. It was right around here that I had a huge realization. I was trading mindless consumption for mindful activity. It's been so interesting to see what free activities I can find. Have you ever tried a no-spend challenge? What are some of your favorite free or low-cost things to do? Let me know in the comments, because I'd love to get some more ideas. This was the real turning point. The challenge stopped being about what I couldn't do and became about what I was doing. I had so much more time. The hours I used to waste scrolling online stores were now spent reading, actually talking to my family, or just being present. A layer of financial stress that I didn't even realize was there just started to melt away. There's a mental clarity that comes from not having to make 1,000 tiny purchasing decisions every day. I wasn't thinking about what to buy anymore, I was thinking about what to do. My entire relationship with money started to shift. I began to see it not as something to just get rid of, but as a tool to build the life I actually wanted. A life with less stuff and more freedom. It's not about depriving yourself, it's about being intentional. By the last week, I was in the zone. The urge to spend was basically gone. This new way of living felt normal. I wasn't tempted by sales flyers or takeout menus. For the first time in a very long time, I felt like I was in the driver's seat with my money. I was genuinely excited for the 30 days to be over, not so I could immediately go on a shopping spree, but so I could tally up the numbers and see just how much of a difference this all made. I had a feeling the number was going to be big. I just wasn't prepared for how big. Alright, so after 30 days of no non-essential spending, how much did I actually save? I pulled up my old bank statements to figure out what I normally spend, and I kept a running list of everything I stopped myself from buying. The coffee here, the takeout there, the book I almost clicked on, that sweater from the flash sale. The grand total I saved in 1 month was $942. I was stunned. Almost $1,000. Just slipping through my fingers every single month on stuff I didn't actually need. The breakdown was even more wild. About $350 of that was from restaurants and takeout. Another $400 was just from random online shopping. The rest was a mix of coffees, subscriptions I had forgotten about, and those quick Target runs. Some people who did this save way more than that, but for me, this number was a wake-up call. Seeing that $942 in black and white was a shock, but it was also incredibly empowering. I immediately took every single dollar of it and threw it at my highest interest credit card, the very card that got me into this mess. It felt like I was finally, truly breaking the cycle. This no-spend month taught me way more than just how to save a few bucks. It revealed some pretty surprising things about my own brain. Impulse shopping is a feedback loop. You feel a little bored or stressed, you buy something, and your brain gets a tiny hit of a feel-good chemical called dopamine. This challenge completely shattered that loop. My brain had to find other, healthier ways to get that satisfaction, like finishing a workout, completing a project, or just having a really good conversation. The biggest lie we're told is that we need more to be happy. This month proved the complete opposite to me. By being forced to use what I already had, I realized my home was already full of things to use, read, and wear. I didn't need another sweater or a new kitchen gadget. I just needed to appreciate what was already there. That created a sense of gratitude that no purchase ever has. I was floored by how much mental energy and time I was pouring into the act of shopping. Browsing online, tracking packages, dealing with returns, it really adds up. When I cut all that out, I got hours back in my week. That time became way more valuable to me than any item I could have bought. This challenge literally gave me my time back. The goal here isn't to never buy something you enjoy ever again. It's about making sure that when you do spend your money, it's a conscious, intentional choice that actually adds value to your life. This challenge trained me to pause before every purchase and ask one simple question. Is this a real need, or an emotional want? That little pause. It's everything. If you're feeling a little inspired and want to try a no-spend challenge for yourself, here are my 5 biggest tips to help you succeed. Set clear rules and a why. Decide exactly what's off limits for you. Be realistic. Maybe your gym membership is non-negotiable for your mental health. That's fine. The rules are yours. Also, have a specific goal for the money you're saving. Whether it's paying down debt or saving for a vacation, having a why will keep you going when it gets tough. Prep your environment. Seriously, set yourself up for success. Unsubscribe from all those marketing emails. Delete the shopping apps from your phone. Remove your saved credit card info from your browser. Make impulse spending difficult. Know your triggers. If you know you're tempted by takeout after a long day at work, plan some easy meals ahead of time. If you're a sucker for new books, get a library card before you start. Figure out your weak spots and make a plan for them. Find your free fun. Before the month even begins, make a list of free things you actually enjoy doing. Hiking, visiting the library, having friends over for a potluck instead of going out, finding a new park, have a go-to list. Use the wish list trick. When you get that intense urge to buy something, don't just fight it. Write it down on a list. At the end of the month, look back at that list. I promise you, you won't even want half the stuff on it anymore. Conclusion: this no-spend month totally reset my relationship with money. It wasn't about deprivation at all, it was about taking back control. Now, I'm not going to live in a permanent no-spend world, but my habits have been changed for good. I'm a much more intentional spender now, and that feeling of being in control is worth more than anything I could ever buy. If you found this helpful or you're interested in more stuff about personal finance and intentional living, I'd love it if you'd subscribe. Thanks for watching Money Loop. If you found this helpful, like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe for weekly AI-powered money tips. Thumbs up, like, speech balloon comments, bell subscriptions.